Welcome, everybody, to our third Ask Us Anything session where we answer the questions that you have for us about our characters, about us as players, or about the game in general. I think that's about it. We can just jump right in. We have a bunch of questions from Twitter and some questions from our Patreon followers. Half of our Ask Us Anything is going to be available to the general public, which is what you're listening to now. The other half can be found on our Patreon, patreon.com/slaythestars. You can find all of our past exclusive AMAs there, as well as tons of other behind-the-scenes information and fun little tidbits. Now, first question comes from Mythcraft RPG. That's at Quasi Real House on Twitter. What has your favorite NPC been and why? Either of you can feel free to go first.
Like in character or just us in general?
Either.
The answers are the same for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know. Here's the thing. I know for sure Char's favorite person is not Del, even though mine might be.
I really love Mila, super love Mila. But also, oh my God,
the druid.
Yes,
Kai.
Thank you. Holy crap, they're my favorite.
They're my favorite. I don't know their names.
Yeah. No, they're thus far my favorite.
That's pretty fun. I think my favorite NPC. I really do like playing Del. Del is really fun to be because I am a chaos goblin as well in real life. But my favorite NPC that is currently serving the story, I think, is Rena. She is really fun. She's got deep motivations, and I think that her arc right now could be really interesting. So, our next question comes from Elderfen. That's at Eldritch_DM on Twitter. Actually, there are 3 questions. They went above and beyond.
Oh, God.
I love this person very much. Number 1, what are your go-to sources of inspiration when designing locations, people, or things for your setting? And I do think we can all answer this because we've all had a little bit of a turn in designing some things here. And for me, my sources of inspiration, most of all, is just, it all starts with the story, right? For me, personally, I think to myself, like, what is the story I'm trying to tell? And then kind of the locations, the people, the things, they all start to fall into place. Like, if I want, C to happen, what do I need in A and B? What kind of place do I need? What kind of situation do I need to put them in? What kind of people would put them in that place to get them to C? So, it's kind of like a, push and pull, poke and prod sort of situation.
I mean, that's pretty much all you do. Now, as far as like where I pull from, I think a lot of it is like Matthew Colville's a very, very good source to just. It's kind of your alpha testing as far before you even put it in front of players. It's just like, does this pass Matt Colville? Probably not. I'll try again. But I think it's mostly like, what do I want it to do and how do I get it to do it? Because if it doesn't, then what was the point of taking the time to design it anyway? Yeah. I'm not going to go full Mercer and just like build an entire city for no reason. I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah. I would agree there. Building entire cities just for fun doesn't appeal to me.
Just naming everything in general doesn't appeal to me.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's all about the vibe, like a feeling. That's, the feel that I want you to feel. Like when you go into a place or a building or you meet an individual, that initial gut reaction, and then whether or not I want you to be wrong about the initial gut reaction, or if I want, that this is it, like from the jump. So everything that I do is about a vibe.
Yeah.
See, I'll gladly run an economy simulator, but that does not bug me at all. Like, I will gladly build spreadsheets for that shit. I've done it before.
You have. Yes.
You do.
It's not my job.
All right, next question. Favorite piece of lore that you can share without spoilers?
Favorite
What
piece
is
of
considered spoilers
lore?
at this point, though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, when is this going out?
I don't know. Let's just say everything we have for the people
Up to
listening, we
40.
have recorded up to 40. So everything up to 40 is fair game.
I mean, okay, favorite piece of lore. So I guess there's probably a couple different qualifiers for this question, but what I'm going to go with is the thing that still tickles the back of my mind, which is like who I dream about, because I only very vaguely know one side of that coin. Like
Yeah.
the other side, no idea. Like still a complete mystery. So those images, the imagery, so like I'm gonna say that knowing that I don't actually know the lore, but it's so intriguing to me that I'm that.
I think, you know what? I'm gonna drop some breadcrumbs here. I'm not going to actually come out and say it. I'm just going to repeat some things that have happened since the beginning of this podcast that I know that people are listening to and slowly picking up on. My favorite storyline, piece of lore right now, is who Zem and Shar are and how they are connected to the Celestials. How this connects them to Adria and Lyra, this other plane of existence that we've only vaguely heard of, but which our campaign is currently named after. This is the nugget that I am currently really, really excited to explore more. But it's still a few more episodes before we get the next big reveal. So that's it. That's
Killing
it for
me,
me.
Smalls.
Mine was about who's alive and who's dead, but I don't know if I want to drop that because I feel like it's still pretty fresh, especially having to do with an orb.
The orb. The orb. All right. And last question from Elder Fen. What's the scariest thing about this setting? About the setting? I would say that the revelation that there is something coming for this celestial hub that even the celestial beings themselves are terrified of should be the scariest thing in this setting right now.
I disagree. It is our ability to piss off as many people as fucking possible in such a short span of time.
I disagree with both of you. It's the amorphous blobs that don't leave us alone.
Perfect.
Agree to disagree.
Lots of scary things happening.
What do we have after us? We have the orcs. We have an entire magical cabal. We've managed to piss off all of them in such a short span of time.
Yeah. Yeah, you have.
Are we calling it pissing them off? Just, engaging dramatically.
Shall I remind you of the journal?
What journal?
Sorry, journals.
What journals? Which one?
All right. And our last question from Twitter, from Reshoot Movie Podcast. That's at Reshoot Movie PO1 on Twitter. What's the biggest moment that you expected would go one way, but went a different way thanks to the players? And you know what? I'm going to flip this question then as well. I want to know the biggest moment that the two of you thought was going one way, but then went in a totally different opposite way, either from your own actions or from my actions.
The character race?
Oh, yeah.
The lineage.
That was surprising.
I'm glad that was surprising. For me, it was definitely when you managed to kill Adhara in episode 4.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever that was. I still have not emotionally recovered from it. That moment changed the campaign irreparably in a good way. Because it was not supposed to be necessarily a winnable combat. You both were, in my estimation, I thought you would end up being captured and taken back to Saltspire, and it was going to be a whole different thing, right? You would be stuck with Nexus for however long amount of time, right? Like dealing with the fallout of that, and none of what happened after that might have happened, right? The campaign would be a totally different place. But that's not what happened. You fried her.
Poor tense man.
It's a bitch. Max
it was
damage
wild.
too. Like, what did you say the max damage was like more than her original start hit points?
It was. I don't think it was quite more than, but it was like a lot. She had like, I don't know, 30 something hit points, and you hit her for like 20 something with
Yeah,
that
because
crit.
you had hit her before I did.
One time out of 6, yeah.
Yeah, but still, you raged that battle, so I could rage the other battles.
Yeah. Because the idea was like, in my head, the way that battle was going, the way it was playing out was like she was going to take Shar down. She wasn't going to kill him. She was going to basically knock him unconscious. And there were literally 2 guards after Zem, who was at that point like a level 3, wizard, sorcerer, hybrid, weak, squishy, whatever. They should have been able to subdue you. And that's not what happened.
My favorite thing in the world is being underestimated.
Yeah, and they definitely did. They definitely did. And it was wild, and it was really good. So
I think mine was the when we left the garden originally, I thought it was actually going to be monks that were after us, not fucking wolves. And I also did not expect the wolves, so there's a twofer right there. And then when we were hiding, I'm still not going to be over this. I will never be over this. I don't know why that hit me so damn hard for no reason whatsoever. I'm not a horse guy.
You don't have to lie.
I'm barely an animal person.
You weren't a horse guy.
But then when we were hiding in her cabin, I genuinely thought we were fucked. I thought there was going to be a 5-way battle and we were just going to barely be saved by the skin of our teeth. And that did not happen.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of something so much. So before we even started the campaign, before most of the story had come together, we did a test session to see how the 2 characters would play together. And to
Got our ass handed to us.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
But when I set it up, it was very much a they are in the woods, they find a cabin, they meet this hag person who, is evil, blah, 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 blah. And so when you were on your way and you met Kai and you got to Kai's cabin and walked in, she was clearly like this hermit in the woods. I wanted you to remember that moment and flash back to it and be like, this cannot be good. But I wanted to pivot and make her like this good person, this influence that you all would enjoy.
Yeah, I remember. But you underestimated her love of the witchy bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew pulling Jen in was going to be easy. I was playing on Arthur's paranoia.
You've succeeded.
In those moments.
I have that for the best of situations.
Yes.
Let alone the worst.
Yes.
All you need to get me to love someone is to show me their cauldron.
It's true.
And I'm in.
Their cauldron.
Like I slid under the bed to hide and there was just skeletons everywhere and I freaked out and you're just like, switch me.
Yeah, I did. And we did. And I found feathers and like all kinds of bones.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, I 100% thought we were going to have the garden coming after us. And that was going to be a whole one side of the war in general.
Yeah.
After everything that went down.
This is going to be like a... I'm sorry, wait a second. There's 5 stars. Just putting... There's going to be 5 sides to this fucking war that's coming.
There might be.
Woof.
And it's not to say that there might not be people from the garden who won't come after you or aren't after you, but
Oh, I'm saying at the time.
they're busy. Yeah,
At the time
busy.
is what I thought I would be doing.
Please leave a message.
they're currently busy.
Hello, we're busy committing genocide. Please leave a message after the beep.
All right. Well, those are all the questions from Twitter. We are going to hop over now and do the second half of our Ask Us Anything. That is, again, going to be on our Patreon. We'll be releasing it the same day this goes live. So if you're interested, again, that's patreon.com/slaythestars. Thank you so much for hanging with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
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 Our theme music was created by the incredibly talented Isaac Vyers. Our character art, found on slaythestars.com, was created by the wonderful Cam Gonzalez. Slay the Stars is made possible by the audio engineering wizardry of Arthur Polino, graphic artistry of Jen Kearney, and the production wisdom of me, Leah Hemrick. Thanks for listening, and as always, per somnia ad astra.